Hello. Just decided to get on real quick. Um, I was trying to get some steps in today, enjoy some of this beautiful Virginia weather, and was listening to some good music, get my steps in today. And all I could think about is stocks. All I could think about is stocks. Um, I'm, God, that was pretty much just kind of curious about dibble dabbling in some stocks and trying to figure this whole thing out. I've been doing it since probably about 2017. Didn't know what I was doing. Originally, I just kind of got on and then just invested in any type of stock that was in the $20 share range. I figured those were the best ones to get into, not knowing anything about what I was doing. Investing, putting chunks of money into my smaller account, and just playing around with some stocks, and like I said, I didn't really have any knowledge at that point in time back in 2017 when I started, but I was really, really curious about actually doing it. Just lost a lot of it only because I just didn't know, I didn't, take it as, I'm a failure at it, I pretty much took it on the chin and just kind of learned that, hey, doing stocks is going to kind of be a nice little learning curve. We'll say that. And the amount of money I lost on it was the fee of learning how to invest in stocks. I personally try to keep my smaller account low, and that's pretty much my purposed avenue on actually working stocks. Like I said before, I didn't know a lot about stocks. I just kind of was just playing around with it, just losing money all the time. Just oh my God, it was crazy. But I had fun because I always kind of wanted to do it, and that's just kind of what I did. What is it? 9 years later, still playing around with them, still having just as much fun, in it. But within this time, after losing thousands of dollars and stuff, I've been learning a whole lot more. I kind of got on YouTube and was kind of, just checking out and seeing how these other guys did, not realizing there was actually live traders actually on there, and got in with a group of those guys, and I got educated in a lot of ways just by kind of watching. I'm more the type of person that if I watch you actually do something, I could pick up on it quicker than somebody just kind of telling me. So I've learned a lot of different things. I've learned there's other different types of charts on this TradingView app, using different algos, and I had to pick up and learn to trade by reading candles, wicks, all that type of stuff. I learned there was all different types of names for these different style and shapes of candles, what trigger points you should be looking for, and just a little bit of the tips and the tricks and that I've kind of learned from these guys. My whole angle in dealing with messing with stocks now is having a plan. You have to have your own plan. You can't just go in there and just start, looking at pretty names on stocks, and just jumping in on anything. You got to kind of know what you're doing a little bit, but a lot of it is just trial and error, learning, doing your own research, not only on the stocks you're looking to invest in, but knowing what exactly are you trying to do. Are you trying to get in on some stocks and letting it sit 2-3 years? Are you interested in going more of a long term with it, maybe taking it 5-10 years, keeping stocks? Were you possibly a person that kind of wants to just grab a stock maybe for a day, cash out, you got to kind of have some type of plan, because there's all types of different ways of actually going about doing it. It's not just about just jumping in on a stock and watching everything go green, and it because a lot of times it flips the other way. But if you learn how to read stocks in regards to candles, I have learned that has really changed my game and my approach and my planning on the stocks I like, the stocks I get into, and how I actually play them. Me myself, I'm more of a momentum type of guy. Whatever's on fire at that given moment, I try to jump in on them without FOMOing in. A lot of times people will see these stocks fly and just rise and rise and rise, and they'll get it at the highest point, at the highest price, and realize it crashes on them so fast. Happens to me a lot. It happens to me a lot. But I've learned certain little tricks, and to be able to stop a lot of those losses. A lot of times if you go in with the mentality that you have the best plan, you probably don't have a plan at all. You got to be able to move. You got to be able to keep your eyes on these things. So if you're one of those type of people like me who works for a living, that goes to an office and works, messing with these higher momentum stocks probably isn't for you. But that's up to you. That's up to you to make that choice. I've learned how to kind of get in on stocks early that I have a good feel for. And a lot of people use breaking news that stocks will come out with and go with that. But a lot of times, news is just news. A company can be going down in flames, but if the stock seems like it's rising, people jump in on that. Whatever is hot, that's where everybody jumps to. I've seen some wild stock names that I've never even heard of. I jump in on them. I kind of get in on them. I kind of keep a very close eye on them. Read the candles. I kind of have a good feel on what's going to actually happen in an upcoming minute, 5-minute, 10-minute candles and stuff. You can kind of watch those and kind of gauge what it is you actually want to do. But me personally, I have a larger account that I kind of keep to the side, that I kind of invest in the Amazons and the Palantir and the Nvidias, Googles, and that type of stuff. I have that one, and I just keep dumping money into that, and just keep reinvesting in certain stocks and stuff. But the smaller account I have is the one I play with and I have fun with. I start off with about $200, and I just kind of really carefully kind of just do what I do. I watch momentum stocks. The group that I'm with uses scanners, so they can kind of see what's actually jumping, what stocks are actually on, catching fire, and the volume is moving in that direction, and people are just getting in, buying, selling. But I've learned, I got my own plan and my own actions that I take to get in and out of trades. And I just have so much fun actually doing it. The wins are great, absolutely great. The dopamine hits that you get from winning out of good stocks, and getting that high push, nothing like it in the world. That dopamine shot is incredible. Even myself, even seeing the drops, I don't like it. I don't get a joy out of catching falling stocks, but a lot of times I look back at it and see little indicators on previous candles that should have told me I probably should have got out earlier than what I actually did. But it's all fun in regards to that too. Like I said, I only mess with about $200. $200 might seem a lot to most people and stuff like that, but for me personally, that's a nice, soft, spongy little area that if I lost $200, I am not going to stress about it. I'm not going to stress about that. But I had a lot of fun playing in it. Win, loss, it's fun. It's fun for me. And like I said, I've done this for close to a decade now, and just learning different things and learning different techniques, and just kind of seeing what actually works for me. Because what works for me probably won't work for you. You know what I mean? But it's just all about how you play it, enjoying your time, and just catching that ride. You know what I mean? It's definitely fun to watch your money grow. You know, it really is. There's other things you can kind of keep in track of and dealing with getting into stocks. Me personally, when I get into a stock, of course, not financial advice in any type of way. I'm not no finance guy. I'm just a guy just having fun, doing something that I always was curious about since I was a little kid, watching stocks in newspapers, watching key things. But me personally, what I do is when I get into a stock, I see the order was filled, I'll put a stop loss on it right after that. And a stop loss is basically when you get into a stock, let's say $5, a $5 stock for one share. It goes up to $6. Well, then you made $1. But what I'll do is, as soon as I fill that order at $5, I'll put a stop loss in at, let's say, $4.75, $4.50. And all that means is if the stock goes up or even down, worst case scenario, when it hits that $4.50, that $4.50, it'll cut you right there. It'll cut it off. It'll stop the order, and you just lost 50 cents. Another example is if that $5 stock goes to, let's say, $10. You just, boom, go straight up to 10. You put a stop loss in, I would recommend at about the $9 mark. That way you got that little bit of a cushion right there, so that while it's at 10, if it happened to drop down below $9, it'll cut you off. So getting in at 5, filling that order at $5, closing out at 9, you made $4 right there. And granted, if you bought 10 shares, that would be $40, so on and so on. But that's kind of my thing. What I usually do, using that same example, like I said before, if I got in a $5 stock, let's say one share at $5, I'll automatically go straight into my stop loss area, and you need to find out where that is before you even start making purchases. Stop losses will save you. They save me a million times. I'll automatically hurry up and put in my stop loss at $4.50, and lo and behold, it'll rise up, get to $6, $7.50. I'll go right back into my change order and change that $4.50 to $6.50. So now if it goes down below $6.50, it'll cut you straight off. So that's kind of like a collector. It's like a quick little introduction to kind of how I do things. I'm a firm believer of stop losses. And if you don't know where the stop loss is, especially for a lot of you beginners, really even the vets already know what I'm even saying. But if you're a beginner and you're interested in doing stocks, find out where the stop loss order is. It'll save you a lot of money, a lot of time, and a whole lot of heartbreak. Millions and millions of dollars have been lost in the stock market because people don't put stop losses in, and they get all jacked up. Just not knowing about that feature. Once I found out about that, that has saved my life many a times, because when I first started, I would get that $5 share. I would see it drop, because it always dropped on me at the very beginning. Because I just didn't know what type of stocks to really get into. I just played around. And it would drop down to $4.50. Now I'm thinking, oh man, it'll go back up. And then it drops to $4.25. Oh man, okay, it'll go back up. And it keeps dropping and dropping. So I'll go in there and try to just sell it from right there. But Sometimes it doesn't take fast enough and you're constantly just losing and losing and losing. So what I'm basically trying to say, it's very important to know, find out where your stop loss order is, and get that set up just as soon as your order fills. And as it keeps rising and rising and rising, get that stop loss put up in there, just right up underneath it, just so you have enough cushion. Now, how far do you put your stop loss behind the price? That's all up to you. I like to usually give it about 20 cents below the bid price. Wherever the price is at the moment, I'll usually put about 20 cents. That way you have a little bit of dummy room in between there. That's just me personally. A lot of times I get stomped out, it'll drop that 25 cents below, hit my stop loss, and then that stock will just fly straight on up. I got ate a lot of times that way too. But that's money left on the table. But to me, the way I see it is, I went green on that one stock. I went green on that purchase. I can't complain too much. I made $2, $3, $4. Hey, that's $2, $3, $4 I didn't have a minute ago. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting priced out when you're in the green. The key thing is staying in the green. Staying in the green, because even just those little amounts, especially on like a $200 order, you raise it up a percent, 10% every single day. You keep adding to your account by 10% in your account every single day. That just accumulates. That's $20 Monday, another $20, $30 the following day. And by that time, it just keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps growing. The second part of my plan is, when I get my account, and I had a pretty good day today, once I get that $200 account up to $1,000, I'll take that $800, push it right over to my bank account. That's $800 I didn't have before. And I'll just repeat the process all over again. Get it back down to 200, slowly but surely keep picking away at it, keep picking away at it, keep picking away at it. And you're right back up to $1,000 again. Things I wouldn't do is take and put 100% of your account on any stocks all in one day. I just wouldn't do that. If you have $200 and you're looking at one stock that you have filled and you're watching it grow, you get another stock, watching it grow, up or down, up or down. If that amount is $200, you're leaving yourself in dangerous water. You're leaving yourself in dangerous water, because at any given moment, if you didn't get that stop loss put in at the right location, it drops down and drops down fast. So you have to be on site. You have to kind of pay attention to those type of things, especially if you're dealing with momentum stocks. And what I mean by momentum stocks, more of like $1 a share, $2 a share kind of stocks and stuff like that. Or if you really want to get on with it, dealing with penny stocks. I know a lot of people will boo-hoo on some penny stocks. They say, no, I'm not messing with no penny stocks. Penny stocks are penny stocks. I mess with penny stocks if I can get into them. A lot of times my broker won't let me get into them. But you can get into penny stocks the exact same way. I'm talking penny stocks, anything under $1. So if you have like a stock out there and it's like 17 cents a share. Okay, that sounds small. But then you just up your share size. What I'll typically do is get 100 shares, maybe 500 shares. So that every time that thing ticks $1 on 100 shares that you pay for, that 17 goes to $18. That's $1. 17 goes to $20, 20 cents. I'm sorry, 17 cents to 20 cents. That's $3. Every penny it ticks is $1. Why would that be so wrong? People will boo-hoo on people sitting there doing penny stocks. The problem with penny stocks is They're very volatile. Those things jump pretty quickly. And if you don't know nothing about stop losses, like I said before, one lap before we got to this point, stop losses are very important. And if you don't get in on stop losses, especially in penny stocks, you can drain your account real quick. Those things catch fire very quickly and they drop very quickly also. So getting into good practice of using stop losses is very key. I made a lot of money off of them. They're not very popular, but they have been more popular nowadays, only because of the simple fact that people have realized that they catch fire pretty quickly. They're not very popular stocks, and I would never suggest you carry any penny stocks overnight unless you have added brokers connected to that account that you can do after hours stock trading, because then you're left a prisoner and you just kind of sit there and see it happen overnight. I mean, sometimes it jumps up, you know what I mean, but 90% of the time for me, they have always dropped down. So don't fall in love, don't get married to any penny stocks. If you're at home and you have time to yourself, yeah, and you can sit there and watch after it, watch it move. And I pretty much use personally 1 minute candles myself, because I can kind of see buyers and sellers coming in. I can see the buy price, I can see the sell price going in and out, you know, and I can kind of make moves adjusting. Hello. And I can kind of make those moves accordingly. Then I'm pretty safe with it. And it's not to sit there and say I don't make mistakes, because I do make mistakes still, and I recovered from them. I recovered nicely, especially if you can find a stock. Oh my God, you can find a nice penny stock that's like 60 cents. That thing catches fire using like $100 a share. Every penny it goes up, it's like 60 cents, and it goes up to $1. Hit that milestone breaker of $1. You made yourself $40. I mean, even in $20 a share stocks, making $20 is still $20. I mean, that's $20 more than you had now than what you had before. What's wrong with that? I mean, even while talking to you, I got a whole bunch of different things rambling off my mind just from lessons learned. Like I said before, I am not a professional day trader. I am not a financial advisor in any type of way. I just know what I know if I'm just playing around with them. And I'm starting to realize patterns and things that work for me personally. And I'm just one type of guys that just have so much fun doing this type of thing. My plan is to just continue learning how to do this, so that by the time I'm retired, I could do this and just have a real keen eye, a really good look at how to go about actually doing this after doing it for about 20 years. Like I said, I've done it since 2017. And I'm still telling you, I don't know everything. Key thing to remember about stocks is you don't have to be right. You just have to lose less as possible. That's probably the best advice I was ever given in dealing with stocks, because you're not ever going to always be right. You're just not. You just got to make sure you lose the least amount as possible. And like I said, I got a whole bunch of stuff rambling in my head, ideas and tactics that I've used personally and stuff, and lessons learned that I've had. You know, I definitely think I can sit down with people and talk them through this, beginners, you know, just trying to, you know, learn this type of thing and trying to sit down at a table for the first time, cracking open those charts for the first time. I definitely think I can really be very beneficial to someone who's curious about doing this. You know, maybe not seriously, but doing it in a sense of fun and learning how to actually go about doing it, because there's a lot of stuff I could teach somebody with my 8-9 years of experience that would set them up better than what I did. just kind of learning. But yeah, I mean, I definitely did not plan to get on here and make some video. I haven't made a YouTube video in probably a decade, but I get a lot of info and dealing with other traders through YouTube, just watching these guys who have been doing this type of stuff for years. And just kind of, like I said at the beginning of this video, I just came out here just to get some steps in, get some exercise and relax and just enjoy this beautiful weather out here we're having in Virginia. And all I can say and think about is stocks. So I just felt like I could just get this off my chest and just talk it. It makes me happy talking about stocks. So if you guys got any comments, questions, all that type of good stuff, you know what I mean? Oh, feel free. Leave them out there. I'll do my best to answer any question that you have. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm an expert at winning and losing on stocks. But yeah, let me go transfer my money over to my main account. But you guys have a good day and stay blessed. Later.